Hey, today what we're gonna do is we got this brand new pour. This has been recently installed, and what we would like to do is seal this up before it has any damage from grilling and other chemicals and household items when you're putting them on here. You don't want them to stain the concrete. Concrete is extremely porous. So today we're going to smooth it out by diamond grinding it, okay? So with the diamond grinding, we're going to hone the sides and then the top. Now you could do this with a regular angle grinder and diamond embedded pads. So this is a Velcro, 7-inch Velcro pad driver. Then you just get one of these. You know, if you were to do a full polished floor, this would take, you know, all the diamonds and all the grit levels would take, it would be kind of a lot of money. But to buy one of these discs isn't too expensive. So you could get a disc like this and put this on your angle grinder. This is 100 grit. Now 100 grit is pretty aggressive. I would imagine that I probably don't have to go any lower. Now we'll see. I don't want to eat up the diamond, but this resin diamond should smooth this out, expose some aggregate, but leave it smooth enough that our sealer is going to, you won't be able to see any grind marks in the concrete. Now if you use a cup wheel or something like that, that's so aggressive, usually those are about 30 grit, and you're going to see the swirl marks from the diamonds in the sheen. So we don't want to do that. So by using 100 grit, it's going to be smooth enough. You shouldn't be able to see any of the swirl marks from the diamonds. But it will also leave it with enough tooth or enough texture for the sealer to bond to it really, really well. So as you see, I just put a little tape line around the grill, and we're going to go ahead. We're going to do this diamond grind dry today. Instead of introducing water, we can just do it dry. It's going to kick up some more dust, but that's okay. I brought my respirator. Definitely want to wear a decent N95 mask or respirator to while you're doing the diamond grind. So we'll do that, and then we're going to seal it with 3 coats of poly shine afterwards. So let's get started. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and seal this with the poly shine. Now I like the poly shine because you could get multiple coats down all in one day. So we're going to go ahead and I already got the first coat down. Unfortunately, the batteries on the camera were not charged, so I just had to do that without putting it on video, but we'll video the second and third coats. Now, traditionally, they recommend applying the poly shine with a roller, but I've found that, you know, you could put on the coats using a microfiber, and if you pull it a little tight, then what could happen is it can leave some streaks in there. But I like to just use the microfiber personally on a countertop like this. So we'll go ahead and use the microfiber to apply the second and third coat today. Usually I give about an hour or so in between coats. And then, you know, the poly shine's a good polyurethane that's water-based and non-toxic. So it works really well for countertops and stuff like that. And it holds up pretty well towards like oils and you know, household chemicals and stuff like that. And the good thing about the poly shine is that you can just kind of give it a light abrasion, just like barely scuff it up a little bit, wipe it down, and just reapply it. So that's a real good bonus, you know, when it comes around to cleaning it and then resealing it in the future. You know, the poly shine probably has anywhere from like a 2 to 5 year span before it needs to be resealed. But the great thing is that, you know, it is because it's a green product, it is a little more expensive than most sealers, but, you know, 1 quart, and, you know, you could do this, and we have the fire pit over there that we're doing with it. And then, you know, 4 years down the road, you could buy another quart and scuff it up and put another 2-3 coats on, and it looks brand new again. So that's the great thing about it. So we'll go ahead and start up with that. I'm going to wipe it down first, and then go ahead with putting down the second coat. So we'll just give it a quick wipe down. Just don't want any dust on that countertop. So I like to use, on a flat surface like this, I use these little applicator things. Now, you know, these are kind of specialty, but not really. You could probably find them in some hardware stores. But the pads for them, that size, are hard to find. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of put this onto a microfiber towel and then just pull these like this and hold that tight. There you go. Now that's good to go. Usually what I'll do is I'll saturate this with some sealer. And apply it. It's a little counterintuitive, but the funny thing is about a lot of these sealers is that they actually give you more scratch resistance when you're putting them on nice and thin, which is kind of weird, right? You know, you think putting on something nice and thick that it would give you more scratch resistance, but it's actually, it builds up the strength to do more thin coats than just one thick coat. And then secondly, you don't want to build it up too thick because it actually makes it easier to scratch, which once again is a little counterintuitive. And you want to try to work a wet edge, meaning that we started some over here. We want to make sure that we finish up this little square before I move on to the next square. And just to make sure you're getting it all, you gotta, that's the funny thing working with sealers, is that you really have to take a look at the sheen to make sure that you're not missing anything, because you're putting, in essence, something that's clear over something. So you really have to take a look at the sheen, make sure you're not missing any spots. Once again, you could roll this on as well. I'd probably use like a 3-inch roller with a short nap. Put this down. Nice thin coats. So as I'm waiting for that second coat to dry, I'm going to go ahead and just seal up all of this stone and mortar with another water-based product, the Pavers and Masonry Sealer. So this is a pretty good sealer. Gives pretty good protection depending on how much weather hits it. You know, I personally, on the pavers around my house, I reapply it once a year. And for maximum protection. But you go ahead and just put this right on there. This doesn't, as it dries, it doesn't change the color or anything like that. But just paint this on, nice amount. And that just soaks right in. And it's just going to add some water and stain repellency. Not a huge deal on a vertical wall, but it is just going to make this last much longer, and if something does splash up against it, it's just not going to instantly stain it, or if it does end up staining it, it's not going to be nearly as bad as if it was a raw stone or mortar. So, I mean, any sort of sealer like this, none of them are completely perfect. You know, there's always going to be something that's going to get through and break it down. You know, like the polyaspartic, polyurea coatings, most of the polyurethanes, all that stuff, if you put 99% isopropyl alcohol, it will, and leave it on there, it will practically melt the stuff. So, you know, there's always something that will damage some sort of sealer, you know. And make its way through it. That said, doesn't mean that you shouldn't, just because a handful of items can damage it, doesn't mean you shouldn't seal it to protect it from the other 99% that won't damage it, right? So. All right, I think we're ready to grill. Let's check this out. Look at that. Looks super nice. It's not really glossy. Pretty glossy, but not too glossy. You see the stone hasn't changed color. The preserve doesn't change the color or sheen of the stone. Just in time for summer.